A subject that never comes up with Tibetan Buddhism in regards to Tibetan Buddhism and iconography is the very popular Nepalese Hindu goddess Durga. And the Durga that I want to talk about here is actually the Mahishasuramardini, it's really the demon, asura demon, destroying form of the goddess. And Durga can have many forms, and there are different narratives for her. The most famous is her really subjugation and destruction of the kind of demon figure, although he's an asura, sort of an anti-god. In Buddhism, asura is like the old gods in the Indian cultural tradition. And this demon, this asura, anti-god, demigod, he caused some conflict in the heavens, made a lot of enemies, and then Durga was the person who came to the fore to try and defeat him where all the other gods failed. So Durga is quite famous. There's a lot of different narratives for her, and they can come out of the Devi Mahatmya and the Devi Bhagavata Purana. But also I find a lot of information in the Garuda Purana. I think it's chapter 38. It's been a few years since I've gone through it again. But in that text, there's descriptions for a 28, 18, 12, 8, and 4-armed form of the goddess. Now this, though, is not all of the different forms, because on the Har website we have 6-armed, 8, 10, 16, and 18-armed forms. These are the most common that we seem to see in art, and these are the ones that appear on the Har website. In terms of medium, we really have cast metal. We have repoussé, which is very common in Nepal. We have carved stone, and then we also have carved bone. And the bone is that we have examples for are meant to be ornaments on a ceremonial apron, a ritual apron. Now, in terms of how we find the objects of Durga. Now, often we find them with the bases are missing and the retinue figures are missing. Now, I say that because the retinue figures are important, because when we're looking at Durga defeating the mahisha asura demon, we're looking at her as represented from a narrative description. It's not an iconic description. It's not like we're looking at a meditational deity. We're looking at a figure that is just representative of the narrative story. And she typically rides a lion, sometimes a tiger, and then she's standing often or seated on the lion, and she may have one foot, or she's suppressing this buffalo demon, this mahisha asura, and he is partial human and partial buffalo, and he's being subdued and then killed. Now, what's also important is there's often 2 retinue figures, and these are retinue figures for the demon himself, the mahisha asura demon or demigod, and he has very common to Nepalese art there are 2 kneeling figures below the central figure of Durga and Mahisha. Then we have the 2 figures who are the generals or main attendants to Mahisha Asura. And in some of the better examples, what we find is a Vajra scepter sticking out of the chest of one, and then we have a chakra, a weapon wheel sticking out of the chest of the other. And it's quite common to find these separated or broken or detached from the original sculpture. Of course, they were cast individually and then attached to these sculptures. So these are the main components. The Durga herself, often with 18 arms. It is more often to find her with 18 arms and less often with the 4, 6, 8, etc. Generally she's standing, and then we have the lion, and then we have the mahisha asura as a half man, half buffalo. Then we have the throne upon, or the platform upon which Durga stands or sits, and then we have the two attendant figures to Mahisha, who are in the process of expiring or passing on due to the damage inflicted by the Vajra scepter to the chest and the weapon wheel in the chest of the other figure. So this is quite a common figure in Nepalese art, in relief, in wood, as an ornament for carved as wood for temples, and very commonly found representing Nepalese styles of art. But we can also find it in collections in Tibet and in various monasteries, because sometimes these objects, these metal figures or repoussé, will make their way into the Himalayan regions and will just be accepted as some form of deity and placed on the shrine or placed in the storehouse of a temple or a monastery. So we'll leave it there. You can press the like button, you can subscribe, you can join HAR on Patreon, and you can also go directly to Himalayan Art Resources, to the homepage, and make a donation, which we are very grateful for.